Okay, then let's talk about role. Already, I have told in SailPoint. Every functionality name is going to be considered as object. Entitlement is an object. Role is an object. Okay. Identity is an object. Application is an object. Everything. We are going to consider them as an object. So just remember that one thing. When it comes to entitlement from the back end, how you are going to search. Backend means from object browser page. Any idea? If you are going to search with entitlement, it won't be visible. So for entitlement, we are going to call them as managed attribute. So managed attribute means entitlement. We have created one entitlement manually. You can search with the. You won't be able to search with name. You have to search with ID or attribute. You can get the ID from here, from this URL. From this URL, you can get the ID name. Okay. Or else you can use this. Any other attribute you can use particularly. I couldn't remember, but you can search. Entitlement means from the back end. You're going to call them as managed attribute. Let me add here. So from object browser you can search all the object's identity application, anything using this ID value. Just remember, this is the ID equal ID value. You can search, or else you can search with the name as well. Okay. So for roles it's going to be bundle. It's not going to be roles. It will be bundle. Just remember. So let me add here, okay? Role is nothing. It's a combination of entitlement. You can say, we can group together all the entitlement, and we can create a role. We can create role. Combining any entitlement. Okay. Which means role can encapsulate other entitlements in that. If you have some 10 entitlements, if you want to assign to the user, in that scenario you have to go to Access Request page. You have to select entitlement one by one, like this. Just go to Manage User Access page. Select any identity. So go to Particular Application. Okay. Peoples of Application. If you want to assign entitlements, then you have to select one by one manually. So to avoid that, to make this process easier, if you want to select 10 entitlements, in that scenario, you can combine all 10 entitlements and you can create one role. So that is the purpose of having role. Okay. Which means it will provisioning task easier. So that is okay. Whenever someone is going to join the same thing, you have to assign 10 entitlements to avoid that. You can create one role, and you can combine. You can submit. So we have 4 types of role in SailPoint. Already, we have discussed these things last class. I mean last class, I think. Business role, IT role. Apart from that organizational role, and here also we have entitlement. But this entitlement we are not going to use. Okay, in real-time project. We are going to use these two things one day. Business role and IT role. Okay. We are not going to use this entitlement section because the entitlement will be imported from the application team. Just for your reference. So we will talk about what is business role, what is IT role, each and everything. Is it clear why we are going to create roles? Why we are going to use roles to make the process easier? When it comes to provisioning, when it comes to certification validation, user validation. So we are going to use roles because it simplifies the process. That is the reason. Okay. So again, just the same example I'm giving. Let's consider all users should have access to 50 entitlements. Then they will be performed their daily activities, day-to-day activities. In that scenario, you can create a business role, IT role, and you can assign very easily. Okay. Which means business people. You can say whoever is the responsible to submit access request. For them, it will be very helpful. Okay. As a certification person, certification owner, certifier. If you are a certifier, you are responsible to validate all your user access, which means we will learn later. Briefly about certification. Just make a note. When it comes to certification, it will simplify the process. So these are the advantages of having roles. The same way you can say, let me make this point. First thing simplifies access requests for end user. Second, you can say certification. We will learn about certification later. So it simplifies the process there also, because you have some 50 entitlements you want to validate, then you have to validate each and everything separately. But if you have created one role, and you have combined all 50 entitlements into that, which means encapsulate into that, then we can validate very easily. Okay, he's a developer. Okay. He should have this developer access. Which means developer role. It should have something like that, okay? So similar to ABC. In IAM, something called ABC is the attribute-based access control. It is based on the policy like business role. So for business role, only the people will be having accesses, which are into that particular business. RBC. Right, it's similar to that, but RBC is different. No ABC. ABAC. ABC. Okay, ABC. Yeah, RBC and ABC. Both are kind of opposite to each other, but similar. Exactly. ABAC is different than RBC. Yeah, that's different, and user certification is different. Okay. Certification means user validation.